Horses. Horses are probably some of nature's most magnificent creatures. Strong, beautiful, absolutely goated creatures. From the day early humans discovered how to put a blanket and a bit in this thing's mouth, these things have been a part of pretty much every culture under the sun. And they've had their multitude of uses. They've been used on farms, they've been bred, they've been especially used for war. That's a big one. War has always been a big part of this thing's history. The Mongols used them in their conquests, cavalry used them during the First World War and the Napoleonic Wars. Their use tapered off towards World War II, but they were still used for easy transport of supplies and troops here and there. These were dark times for horses, you know, they were getting shot at with arrows, guns, getting thrown into the battlefield, but they were very instrumental tools in said conflicts. Cavalry charges were very effective. Horse riding archers, absolutely fucking terrifying. I should know, I play a lot of Civ 6 and my friends absolutely dominate with those. But you look around today and you're gonna find a lot more humble uses for horses. One of which is very important to the topic of this video. Horse racing. And not just any horse racing, Japanese horse racing.
Karen Moronic, gold ship goes to the front.
Japanese horse racing is absolutely insane. Not only is it way more popular in Japan than it is in somewhere like the United States, it is pretty much a huge part of Japan's sports culture. A lot of the horses from Japan are household names over there. Gold Ship, Special Week, TM Opera O. All of these horses, in one way or another, are household names over in Japan. And if there's one thing I've been asking myself since I started researching for this video, it's this. Why do people name their horses this way? I kid. Of course I know it's to be unique, because I don't think a lot of people would really remember a horse for its victories if it was named Bob or Bill or Tim or something like that. But I get it, believe me. They're very unique creatures, so therefore I think they deserve very unique names. And coming from a family that has a history of raising horses, I too greatly respect this field of work, especially in recent times with my interaction with the topic of this video. And what is the topic of this video? Well, as you can see from the title and probably the background footage if it's not too blurry for you, we are going to be talking about the one thing that has spawned the most traction for Japanese horse racing. And that, my friends, would be a little Japanese media franchise called Umamusume Pretty Derby. Your eyes are not deceiving you. You're not on crack, you're not on any kind of drug. What you're seeing here is the reason why I and many others have taken an interest in the world of Japanese horse racing. Let me give you a short little rundown. Umamusume is a media franchise centered around the titular Umamusume, literally translating to horse girl. In the world of this franchise, horses as we know them do not exist. Instead, the Umamusume exist. They look like normal people, they look like me and you, except for two things. They have horse ears, a tail, and oh my god, they fast as hell. It is said in the lore of this series that their entire existence is centered around running. If you are born as one of these horse girls, if you don't run, what are you doing with your life? Now you're probably asking yourself, Puff, what does this have to do with actual Japanese horse racing? What does this franchise have anything to do with the actual line of work in real life horse racing? Well, that is because of one thing. Every single horse girl in this series is based off a real life racehorse. And I'm not talking inspired by, I'm talking actual horses. Like, the horses themselves are the characters. Gold Ship goes from horse to this. Opera O goes from this to this. Special Week goes to this. You get the idea. An entire cast of characters based off all these legendary racehorses. And despite the amount of characters, they're all pretty endearing in their own way. They all have their own personalities, their own traits, their own appearances. They have everything. They all stand on their own as characters. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself,
Man, Puff, what is this all about? They're just little anime girls. They run around the track. How is this anything cool? This looks boring as hell.
well, to that I say, have you ever raced with your life on the line? I take one look at this, and all I can do is turn and look at every other anime I've ever watched in my life and just say, why can't you make your fight scenes look this good? For real, the racing scenes in the show and like the movies, all the spin-off material, literally like all the anime stuff for the racing is like, oh my god. Like, don't get me wrong, I know where they get the budget. This is like $1 billion franchise in Japan, which I didn't even know. That was surprising to find out. Like, I'm not kidding. I hadn't heard about this series until, like, maybe the start of 2025, when, like, people were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be coming to the West. The English release is coming in the summer. And then it dropped in the summer, I played it, and then I did some digging into it, found out it's worth billions of dollars, it's all based on real horses, you know, everything like that, and I was like, what? Why am I just now hearing about this? Why am I just now, like, learning that this is such a big thing? Not only do these horses race, they also sing. Like there's a lot of singing and dancing in this franchise. It's basically like the whole thing. Like, if you get first place or like in the top 3 of anything in any of these races, you essentially earn yourself the right to perform a little song and dance routine in front of the entire crowd. Does this tie into the lore in any way? No, it's actually just there to be silly and fun and cool. You know, it's neat. It's a neat little feature. And quite frankly, after all the mental abuse that I have to put my racers through in order for them to get first place, I think they deserve to do a little jig in front of the crowd if they want to. You know, that's their right. After hearing me scream at them for 6 hours during a campaign because they're gonna get 13th place, I think they deserve to just go out and, you know, kick up some dirt, play a little tune, entertain the crowd. They deserve to do all that. They're champions. They're legends. In universe, I'd imagine like 20 years from now, they're gonna make a film about my training efforts and make me look like Fletcher from Whiplash. That's how hard I train my racers.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head?
Gold ship.
That was a joke, by the way, everybody. I would never do such a thing to my girls, alright? These are like my children, alright? These are like training my kids for the big leagues. I would never hurt them. We have a simple rule instead. Either we win, or I kill myself. Now look, I have a lot of experience tending to horses. I have over 500 hours in Red Dead Redemption 2. I know how to take care of a horse. So naturally, I didn't think I'd have a problem trying to learn how to play the video game based on the franchise, but turns out, no, I wasn't ready for how deep the mechanics were gonna go. The entire game, you spend trying to train one of these Umas into becoming a top-tier racer by upgrading their speed, their stamina, their power, their guts, and their intelligence. And you know, these numbers go up, your brain releases dopamine, you know, typical number rush, you know, you're chasing after the numbers kind of game. But therein lies the complication. You're not just sitting there mindlessly pushing buttons, you gotta keep track of energy, make sure your trainee doesn't get too tired, because otherwise they're gonna hurt themselves trying to train. You also have little events in between that'll either benefit or hinder them in some way. Like, for example, I spent an entire campaign trying to train Gold Ship, but there's the issue. I tried to train Gold Ship. Gold Ship is a agent of chaos. I swear to God, she does anything but training about like 1 out of 10 times. You'll train good for a while, you know, you'll boost the stats, and then you'll get a little event where she comes to you crying and saying, oh no, they canceled my favorite show. You know what happens as a result of this? Her mood goes down, she loses energy, and I can't train her. But it's not as bad as the events where she straight up just says she doesn't want to train anything. And then you waste a whole turn because she doesn't want to do anything. And guess what? No stat boost. You're losing the next rank. I'm self-harming in the office! But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She's my little girl, alright? She's my daughter, alright? She got through the campaign just fine, alright? I won with her. Well, almost, but, I mean, technically we beat the main campaign, so, I'll take that. But really, at the end of the day, how do we answer the question of the video? What is Umamusume even about? And if I had to say, it's about growth. In the games, you're helping these racers grow. You're helping them become the legends they are in real life. And in the animes, and in the movies, and pretty much all the spin-off material, the same goes for the characters there. Me personally, this shines the most in the anime they currently have going on, Cinderella Grey, which focuses on the racehorse Ogre Cap. It tells Cap's story of going from a regional racer out in the middle of nowhere to becoming a national champion, and it's an amazing show. You can watch it right now. It's free on YouTube. Whole first season's on YouTube. Go watch it. Highly recommend. Second season's coming out literally within the days of me filming this. Literally just go cram the first season. I'll leave the link in the description. It's really good. If you have enough time and you just need something to put in the little background, go watch this. Go enjoy it. It's really fun. But this anime, the Pretty Derby anime, the movies, they all have this theme of some form of growth happening in the series. And this is especially true in the video game where, you know, you're growing the trainees' stats and running them through races to get to the end. And it's really fun. It's really nice and wholesome. There's not a single bit of, like, anything, like, there's not really a single bit of, like, what I would consider typical anime tropes. Like, you know, there's no weird fan service, nothing like that. It's just a wholesome little series. I think it's just something to have fun with. It's historical, it's biographical. It's pretty much like you're watching a film about, like, LeBron or some shit. It's really fun. So if there's anything you should take away from this video, it's the idea that Umamusume is a series about growth, it's about history, it tells fun little stories of IRL racehorses and their rise to the top, and it's generally just a wholesome little series just to have fun with. I personally, like, I love it. It's something I like to spend a little bit of off time on. You know, I open up my phone, I check my stats, and then I do a little race, and then, you know, I get back to work, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of greats in this series, especially one of my goats, Haru Urara. Rest in peace. People made it out like you were difficult to train, but guess what? I got you through the campaign. You can rest easy, my daughter. You're okay. But yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this nice short little tangent into a bit about Umamusume. Probably not as in-depth as you expected, but I still had a lot of fun making it. This was my 2K sub special. I promised this to my viewers like months ago when I first hit 1K subs, because I didn't think 2K would come as fast as it did, but it came, as you can see, and so I figured, you know, let's get this video out. Let's do a little something and celebrate something other than Daisy or Helldivers or something like that. And yeah, you know, this was nice. I think I did pretty well. I definitely might do something like this in the future, because I do like this series. It is a nice little pastime of mine. You know, it's wholesome, it's fun, it's got very good stories, very interesting characters. It's a beast, I'll give it that. I understand why this has made Japan billions of dollars, because this is enthralling. But yeah, that's about it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit like, sub, join the Discord. And until next time, peace out. Umas.